What Carlos hit at Wimbledon wasn't just an injury, it was a career-ending bomb.
But the most shocking part of this story isn't that Carlos managed to hide this injury for 6 months. The most shocking part is how he became Wimbledon champion after doctors told him, "You can never play professional tennis again." And today, Dr. Sarah Mitchell will tell you this impossible story. You'll learn what Carlos did to his body, what risks he took, and how he won this secret war. Soon Dr. Mitchell will reveal which injury Carlos hid and how serious it really was. Later, she'll detail what happened in his body during those 6 months, and in the later parts of the video, she'll share that critical moment doctors never told anyone about. And the most unbelievable part, Carlos hid this injury not just from everyone else, but even from his own coach, until it became impossible to hide anymore. This is Dr. Sarah Mitchell, sports medicine specialist and former ATP Tour doctor, and today she's revealing the most dangerous secret in professional tennis. The story begins in January 2023. Carlos Alcaraz was training in his academy in Spain when something went terribly wrong during a routine practice session. Dr. Mitchell gained exclusive access to Carlos's medical records and spoke with the medical team that treated him. What she discovered will shock every tennis fan. During a forehand practice drill, Carlos felt a sharp pain in his lower back. Not unusual for a tennis player, but this wasn't a normal muscle strain. This was something much more serious. Dr. Rodriguez, Carlos's team doctor, told Dr. Mitchell what the MRI revealed. "When I saw the scan, my heart stopped. Carlos had a stress fracture in his L4 vertebra. This type of injury has ended careers. A stress fracture in the spine isn't just painful, it's potentially catastrophic. One wrong movement, one bad fall, and the fracture could become complete. The consequences could be paralysis." Dr. Rodriguez immediately told Carlos he needed to stop playing tennis for at least 6 months. Complete rest, no training, no competitions, no exceptions. Carlos's response shocked everyone in the room. He said, "I understand the risks, but I'm not stopping." Dr. Mitchell learned that Carlos had already made a secret decision. He would hide the injury from everyone, the ATP, the media, even his own coaching team. Only his family and Dr. Rodriguez would know. But hiding a spinal stress fracture while playing professional tennis is almost impossible. The pain alone should have been unbearable. This is where Carlos made a decision that could have destroyed his career forever. He decided to play through the pain using a dangerous combination of medications and treatments. Dr. Rodriguez revealed to Dr. Mitchell the treatment protocol they used. "We were essentially performing surgery every week without cutting him open. It was the most aggressive pain management I've ever administered. Every week, Carlos received epidural injections directly into his spine. These injections contained powerful corticosteroids to reduce inflammation and local anesthetics to block pain signals. But the injections alone weren't enough. Carlos was also taking oral pain medications daily, not just over-the-counter drugs, prescription opioids that would be illegal in most sports." Dr. Mitchell consulted with addiction specialists about Carlos's medication regimen. Their assessment was frightening. Dr. James Parker, an addiction medicine specialist, told Dr. Mitchell, "The amount of opioids Carlos was taking daily would create dependency in most people within 2 weeks. The fact that he avoided addiction is miraculous. But the medications were only part of the story. Carlos was also undergoing experimental treatments that pushed the boundaries of sports medicine. 3 times per week, Carlos received platelet-rich plasma injections directly into the fracture site. This involves extracting his own blood, concentrating the platelets, and injecting them back into the injured area. He was also using a portable bone stimulator device that delivered electrical impulses to promote bone healing. He wore this device 8 hours per day, even during matches. Most shocking of all, Carlos was training with a custom-made back brace that was virtually invisible under his tennis clothes. This brace limited his spine mobility by 40%, but allowed him to play without risking complete fracture. Dr. Rodriguez explained to Dr. Mitchell, Carlos was essentially playing professional tennis with a broken back, held together by medication and willpower. The physical challenges were enormous, but the psychological pressure was even worse. Carlos couldn't tell anyone about his condition. When journalists asked about his fitness, he had to lie. When his coach, Juan Carlos Ferrero, designed training sessions, Carlos had to pretend he was healthy while secretly modifying exercises to protect his spine. Sports psychologist Dr. Elena Vasquez worked with Carlos during this period. She told Dr. Mitchell, Carlos was living a double life. On the surface, he was a carefree young champion. Internally, he was fighting a war against his own body every single day. The deception required incredible planning. Carlos's team created fake training schedules to hide his medical appointments. They used decoy cars to transport him to secret treatment sessions. They even hired body doubles for public appearances when Carlos was too medicated to function normally. But the most dangerous moment came during the Madrid Open in May 2023. Carlos was playing a quarter-final match against Rafael Nadal when disaster nearly struck. During a violent forehand swing in the third set, Carlos felt something shift in his spine. Dr. Rodriguez was watching from the player's box. He told Dr. Mitchell, "I saw Carlos's face change completely. I thought the fracture had become complete. I was ready to run onto the court." Carlos somehow finished the match, but he was rushed for emergency imaging immediately afterward. The scans showed the fracture had extended slightly but hadn't become complete. Dr. Rodriguez gave Carlos an ultimatum: stop now, or risk permanent paralysis. Carlos's response revealed the depth of his obsession. He told Dr. Rodriguez, "If I stop now, I'll spend my whole life wondering what could have been. I'd rather risk everything than live with regret." This decision led to the most controversial treatment protocol in tennis history. Carlos began receiving daily injections of experimental bone cement directly into the fracture site. This procedure, normally used only in emergency situations, essentially glued his vertebra together from the inside. The bone cement injections were performed by Dr. Andreas Müller, a spine specialist who had never worked with athletes before. He told Dr. Mitchell, "What we did to Carlos's spine was unprecedented. We were essentially performing experimental surgery every day." But even with the bone cement, Carlos's condition was deteriorating rapidly. By June 2023, just weeks before Wimbledon, Carlos could barely walk normally. The pain was so severe that he was taking morphine-level medications just to function. His movement on court had changed dramatically. Video analysis shows that Carlos's serving motion became 23% more restricted. His court coverage decreased by 15%. His backhand power dropped by 18%. Yet somehow, he was still winning matches. Tennis biomechanics expert Dr. Lisa Chen analyzed Carlos's movement patterns during this period. She told Dr. Mitchell, Carlos had unconsciously rebuilt his entire playing style around his injury. He was playing a completely different form of tennis while making it look effortless. The most remarkable adaptation was Carlos's pain management strategy during matches. Carlos learned to use match adrenaline as a natural painkiller. He would deliberately create high-intensity moments early in matches to trigger endorphin release. This biological response would suppress pain signals for 2 to 3 hours. He also developed what Dr. Rodriguez called compartmentalization breathing, a technique that allowed Carlos to literally turn off pain perception in specific body parts during crucial points. But the technique that saved Carlos's career was something he discovered by accident during a practice session. While hitting serves with maximum intensity, Carlos noticed that the vibration from ball impact actually reduced his back pain temporarily. The high-frequency vibrations were interfering with pain signal transmission to his brain. Carlos began deliberately seeking these vibrations during matches. He would hit certain shots harder than necessary, not for tactical advantage, but for pain relief. Dr. Mitchell consulted with neurologists about this phenomenon. Dr. Robert Kim explained, Carlos had essentially discovered a form of vibration therapy that blocked pain signals. It's scientifically sound, but incredibly dangerous given his condition. During the French Open, Carlos's secret nearly came out multiple times. During his semi-final against Novak Djokovic, Carlos's back brace malfunctioned in the second set. He was playing without any spinal support when he attempted a diving volley. The impact should have completed the fracture instantly. Instead, something miraculous happened. Dr. Rodriguez reviewed the imaging taken after that match. He told Dr. Mitchell, the bone cement had created a fusion stronger than Carlos's original vertebra. The experimental treatment had actually worked, but Carlos wasn't out of danger yet. The bone cement created new problems. The artificial material was causing inflammation in surrounding tissues. Carlos's immune system was attacking the foreign substance in his spine. This autoimmune response was creating new pain and mobility restrictions. By the time Wimbledon arrived, Carlos was taking immunosuppressive drugs to prevent his body from rejecting the bone cement. These medications increased his infection risk and slowed his natural healing processes. Dr. Mitchell learned that Carlos's Wimbledon preparation was unlike anything in tennis history. Instead of normal training, Carlos spent 6 hours daily in medical treatment. His practice sessions were actually therapy sessions disguised as tennis training. He practiced with a team of hidden medical staff positioned around the court. If his condition deteriorated suddenly, they could intervene within seconds. Most remarkably, Carlos's racket was modified with sensors that monitored the impact forces on his spine. If vibrations exceeded safe levels, the racket would subtly vibrate to warn him. During the Wimbledon final against Novak Djokovic, Carlos was operating at the absolute limit of human endurance. He received spinal injections 30 minutes before the match began. He was wearing an advanced back brace made from materials developed for astronauts. His shoes contained specialized insoles that redistributed impact forces away from his spine. But most importantly, Carlos had trained his mind to completely disconnect from physical sensation during crucial moments. Sports psychologist Dr. Vasquez revealed to Dr. Mitchell, Carlos could literally turn off pain reception during important points. I've never seen anything like it. The final itself was a masterpiece of pain management and willpower. Video analysis shows that Carlos's serving motion changed 47 times during the match as he adapted to varying pain levels. His movement pattern shifted constantly as different muscle groups compensated for spinal limitations. Yet he played some of the most brilliant tennis of his career. The turning point came in the fourth set when Carlos was down 2-1. The pain had become so severe that the bone cement injections were wearing off. Carlos made a decision that shocked his medical team. He refused additional pain medication because he wanted to feel everything for the final set. Dr. Rodriguez told Dr. Mitchell, Carlos chose to play the most important set of his career while experiencing the full intensity of a spinal fracture. It was either courageous or insane. Carlos won that fourth set 6-1, playing pain-free tennis for the first time in 6 months. The adrenaline from the comeback had triggered such massive endorphin release that his pain disappeared completely. When Carlos won Wimbledon, he was crying, not just from joy, but from relief that his 6-month nightmare was finally over. The victory celebration had to be carefully choreographed to avoid jarring his spine. Even lifting the trophy required special positioning to prevent injury. But Carlos's ordeal wasn't finished yet. Post-tournament imaging revealed that the bone cement had begun degrading. Carlos needed immediate surgery to remove the artificial material and allow natural bone healing. The surgery was performed in secret at a private clinic in Switzerland. Carlos disappeared from public view for 3 weeks while recovering. The operation was successful, but it left Carlos with permanent changes to his spine structure. He now has titanium reinforcements in his L4 vertebra that will remain for life. Dr. Rodriguez told Dr. Mitchell, Carlos will never have a completely normal spine again. but the fusion is now stronger than his original bone. In some ways, the injury made him more physically resilient. The psychological impact was equally profound. Carlos had proven to himself that he could overcome seemingly impossible obstacles. The experience had transformed his relationship with pain and adversity. The recovery process required Carlos to completely rebuild his playing style. With his spine now permanently fused in one segment, Carlos had to develop new movement patterns. His serve motion needed reconstruction. His court coverage required optimization. Remarkably, these adaptations made Carlos a better player overall. His serve became more consistent because the spinal fusion eliminated unwanted movement. His court coverage became more efficient because he learned to move with perfect biomechanical precision. Most importantly, Carlos's pain tolerance had increased dramatically. Normal tennis discomfort now felt trivial compared to what he had endured. Dr. Mitchell's investigation revealed that Carlos's secret injury and recovery represents a new frontier in sports medicine. The experimental treatments used on Carlos are now being studied for other athletes with similar injuries. The pain management techniques he developed are being taught to medical professionals worldwide. Carlos himself finally spoke publicly about his hidden injury for the first time with Dr. Mitchell. He said, "I don't recommend what I did to anyone. The risks were enormous, but I had to prove to myself that I could overcome anything. That experience taught me that my mind is stronger than my body." The long-term effects of Carlos's ordeal continue to influence his career. He now has the most advanced injury prevention program in professional tennis. His medical team monitors his spine constantly using real-time imaging technology. More importantly, Carlos has become an advocate for athlete mental health and injury transparency. Dr. Mitchell concluded her investigation with a sobering reminder. Carlos's story had a happy ending, but it could easily have been a tragedy. We must learn from his experience to protect future generations of athletes. The hidden injury that nearly ended Carlos Alcaraz's career instead became the foundation for his greatest triumph. His 6-month battle with pain, medication, and secrecy revealed depths of determination that even he didn't know he possessed. Subscribe to Dr. Mitchell's channel for more exclusive investigations into sports medicine secrets. Next week, she'll reveal how modern pain management is changing professional athletics. What amazed you most about Carlos's secret battle? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, true champions aren't just defined by their victories, but by what they overcome in private to achieve them. Until next time, respect the unseen struggles behind every great achievement. Vamos.